playing The Longing, and I'm in like the dark part, and I'm trying to get up past. There's like another guy up there who attacks me, and I'm trying to get past him. And I brought my little mushroom and shit, but I want to see. I don't really know how to get past him, and when he attacks me, he throws me back into my room, which is really far away from here, right? So it's like it takes hell long to walk up here. Like I finally got my damn mushroom. And the music, if you can hear the music, it's like super creepy. This is what I was saying, like this shit is like a psychological horror game, bro. Or at least this part. There's like a suicide cliff back here. It's kind of weird. I'm like, why is there a suicide cliff? Come on, bro, let's go. God, it's so dark. If I didn't bring this mushroom, we wouldn't be able to see shit. And then he ate the mushroom earlier when I was standing on the side. I was waiting too long. I was talking to somebody and like he just ate it. And I'm like, dude, don't eat our light source. Like, what is your problem? Without it, you can't see the stairs. There's like stairs that lead you up to somewhere, and yeah, that's how you get up there. Now, I'm just wondering, like, I hope I don't waste all this time that I'm going up here though, because I'm just wondering, I'm like, well, how do I get past this dude though? It's like another version of me. He's like a shade, and he like sends me back to my room, and I don't know. Oh, here we go. Just making my way downtown, walking past faces, something, something. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I don't know the fucking words to that song. Oh wait, yeah I do. If I could fall into the sky. What does that even mean? Do, is that the actual lyrics?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
I'm pretty sure,
What does
yeah.
that fucking mean? Do you think time would pass me by? I mean, if you fell into the sky, you're probably on acid, so your perception of time would be quite distorted, I think. So, speaking of acid, he eats these shrooms and he has dreams. If he eats 3 of them, he'll have a dream. Dude, it's getting so dark that my mushroom isn't even helping. There's the stairs, though. Okay, here we go. Here we go, guys. Oh, and you know what? Since we're here, I'm gonna save this. Remember. Yes. Alright, sweet. Now we have this place saved. Yeah, if I keep walking forward here, you'll find a suicide cliff. Which is kind of like not cool. So, you know, there's... Alright, let's go up these stairs. Come on. I feel like... Oh, there we go. I'm getting a little bit of light with the mushroom. It's like dimming, though. It was definitely dimming as I went towards the suicide cliff, which is just... What a strange thing to include in this kind of game, but... This game is actually way more depressing than, like, I thought it would be, bro. He's always talking about when will my longing end. I'm like, bro, I don't know. But it's getting extremely dark and all I can see are my eyes. I'm gonna eat my mushroom. Maybe I'll freak out and... Oh, I thought I was gonna have a dream. Because that's what he has if he eats too many mushrooms. He has a dream. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna run into the guy soon and I don't know what to do. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. This is kind of scary. Maybe I shouldn't have ate my mushroom. There he is. I see him. Uh-oh. Is he gonna come after me? I don't know what to do. Should I keep going forward? Hello, guy. I'm gonna turn down the shit. This shit's hella loud in my ears. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. How do I defeat this guy? Maybe because I ate the mushroom? He saw I can see you. No! No, 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 no! No! Don't send me back to my room. I feel like I've had a horrible nightmare. Damn it! No! Do you know how long it took me to get up there? It's like a 30, 40 fucking minute walk to get all the way up there. Maybe it's like a 30-minute walk. It's a long fucking walk. God damn it. Ah! Okay, well, I mean, I guess that's it for today. I don't know how to get past that guy. I know there's something you gotta do. Maybe I shouldn't have eaten the mushroom. Maybe I should have kept the mushroom out? I don't... I don't know. Lame. You know, this game really does reinforce what it feels like to be alone all the time. To be in your head. To feel like you're not understood. I've been thinking a lot about Neon Genesis Evangelion, so I want to talk about it. I want to talk about something that when people think of Neon Genesis Evangelion, they always think of like depressing shit. They think of sadness, depression, they think of isolation, they think of Shinji, which is just the most depressed character ever, right? I'm sure there's worse out there. In fact, I could name a few that are much more depressed, have went through worse, but it doesn't matter because when you think of NGE, you think of depression in the form of an anime. But when I think of NGE, I think of something that gave me hope when I was 12 years old. Something that told me, you're not alone. The way that you suffer is not unique. Others suffer the same. And there are others out there who understand. And even if you never meet them, you never know them personally, they understand you. They go through the same thing you do. For some reason, knowing that you're not alone, knowing that your feelings of isolation, your feelings of sorrow, knowing that looking at the world as if it's hopeless, the sky is not quite as bright as it used to be, the grass isn't as green as it once was, like your friendships mean nothing, everything that used to give you pleasure and joy means nothing. You don't feel interested in anything, you don't want to leave the house, you don't want to do anything, you just want to sit and exist, and sometimes you don't even want to exist, right? Knowing that there's someone else out there who feels similar, that is trying to find an answer, that was successful and wrote an anime and has continued to be successful to this day, that makes you feel less alone and it makes you feel less isolated and it gives you hope to be to that maybe there is a reason for being here. Maybe my existence does have meaning. I don't know. Maybe not. Some people would say that knowing that you're not unique means that you're not special, means that you don't have meaning. And I'm like, no, being unique, being eccentric, being weird, being different, it's not all it's cracked up to be. Isolation feels awful. It doesn't feel good. There are some people out there that can handle it just fine. I don't like it. I don't like being isolated. I don't like not being understood. I don't like not having friends. I don't like not understanding normal things that most other people understand. That shit bothers me. Come on, man. He's taking forever. We gotta go. I'm trying to defeat the darkness, and it is taking forever. I still haven't found all the books in the game. But look, I only have 100. It's 145 days left. So look at that. 33 minutes. Just so you know, it hasn't been that many days. So, it's just that when he's in his room, time moves very quickly. I don't know why I started this out talking about NGE. I guess it's like I said, I've been thinking about it a lot. Been trying to do something. It's funny because I started watching it backwards. I started with the last episode, and it just gets more and more intense from there. You know what I mean? It just gets more and like you start with the last episode and you think, "Oh, okay, well that's the worst of it." And it's like, not really. The last episode is actually very inspiring. Like I said, it gave me hope for the future. Like, when Shinji says it's okay for me to be here, that was telling me that it was okay for me to be here, right? That's why it's insane to me that people sent this man death threats because they didn't like the ending. I'm like, yo, man, he wrote a beautiful piece of art about overcoming depression and feeling that it's okay for him to be alive. And y'all were just so quick to tell him, no, it's not. It's not okay that you're alive, you fuck. Write a better anime. Write the ending I wanted. It's so weird. While we sit here and wait, I guess we can catch up on some No Longer Human. The Third Notebook, Part 1. One of Takaichi's predictions came true, the other went astray. The inglorious prophecy that women would fall for me turned out just as he said, but the happy one, that I should certainly become a great artist, failed to materialize. I never managed to become anything more impressive than an unknown second-rate cartoonist employed by the cheapest magazines. I was expelled from college on account of the incident at Kamakura, and I went to live in a tiny room on the second floor of Flatfish's house. I gathered that minute sums of money were remitted from home every month for my support, never directly to me, but secretly to Flatfish. They apparently were sent by my brothers without my father's knowledge. That was all. Every other connection with home was severed. Flatfish was invariably in a bad humor. Even if I smiled to make myself agreeable, he would never return the smile. The change in him was so extraordinary as to inspire me with thoughts of how contemptible, or rather, how comic human beings are who can metamorphosize themselves as simply and effortlessly as they turn over their hands. Flatfish seemed to be keeping an eye on me, as if I were very likely to commit suicide. He must have thought there was some danger I might throw myself into the sea after the woman, and he sternly forbade me to leave the house. I'm unable to drink or to smoke. I spent my whole days from the moment I got up until I went to bed trapped in my cubicle of a room, with nothing but old magazines to read. I was leading the life of a half-wit, and I had quite lost even the energy to think of suicide. Huh. You know, I actually know what that feels like. To feel that you've lost the energy to even kill yourself. You're so depressed that you don't even want to die. You don't want to do anything. The effort to slit your own wrist or to take a bottle of pills is too much. That's too much. Dying is too much work. Why do that when you can lay here and just feel bad about every single aspect of your life and feel fucking hopeless? I gotta put my reading glasses on because I'm fucking blind. Uno momento. God damn it. I can't get them on with my headphones. Oh my gosh. The theme of this video is depression, by the way. Flatfish's house was near the Okobo Medical School. The signboard of his shop, which proclaimed in bold letters, Garden of the Green Dragon, Art and Antiques, was the only impressive thing about the place. The shop itself was a long, narrow affair, the dusty interior of which contained nothing but shelf after shelf of useless junk. Needless to say, Flatfish did not depend for a living on the sale of this rubbish. He apparently made his money by performing such services as transferring possession of the secret property of one client to another, to avoid taxes. Flatfish almost never waited in the shop. Usually he set out early in the morning in a great hurry, his face set in a scowl, leaving a boy of 17 to look after the shop in his absence. Whenever this boy had nothing better to do, he used to play catch in the street with the children of the neighborhood. He seemed to consider the parasite living on the second floor a simpleton, if not an outright lunatic. He used even he used even to address me lectures in the matter of an older and wiser head. Never having been able to argue with anybody, I submissively listened to his words, a weary though admiring expression on my face. I seem to recall having heard long ago from the people at home gossip to the effect that this clerk was an illegitimate son of Flatfish, though the two of them never addressed each other as father and son. There must have been some reason for this, and for Flatfish's having remained a bachelor, but I am congenitally unable to take much interest in other people, and I don't know anything beyond what I have stated. However, there was undoubtedly something strangely fish-like about the boy's eyes, leading me to wonder if the gossip might not be true. But if this were the case, this father and son led a remarkably cheerless existence. Sometimes, late at night, they would order noodles from a neighborhood shop, just for the two of them, without inviting me, and they ate in silence, not exchanging so much as a word. The boy almost always prepared the food in Flatfish's house, and 3 times a day he would carry on a separate tray meals for the parasite on the second floor. Flatfish and the boy ate their meals in the dank little room under the stairs, so hurriedly that I could hear the clatter of plates. One evening towards the end of March, Flatfish, had he enjoyed some unexpected financial success, or did some other state stratagem move him, even supposing both were hypotheses were correct, I imagine there were a number of other reasons besides of so obscure a nature that my conjectures could never fathom them, invited me downstairs to a dinner graced by the rare presence of sake. The host himself was impressed by the unwonted delicacy of sliced tuna, and in his admiring delight he expansively offered a little sake even to his listless hanger-on. He asked, "What do you plan to do, in the future, I mean?" I did not answer, but picked up some dry sardines with my chopsticks from a plate on the table, and, while I examined the silvery eyes of the little fish, I felt the faint flush of intoxication rise in me. I suddenly became nostalgic for the days when I used to go from bar to bar drinking, and even for horiki. I yearned with such desperation for freedom that I became weak and tearful. Ever since coming to this house I had lacked all incentive even to play the clown. I had mercifully laid prostrate under the contemptuous glances of Flatfish and the boy. Flatfish himself seemed disinclined to indulge the long heart-to-heart talks, and for my part no desire stirred within me to run after him with complaints. Flatfish pursued. I gotta keep an eye on where he is, cause I gotta make sure I bring. Yeah, okay, he's far. Ever since coming to this house, I lacked all of sentiment even to play the clown. I had merely laid prostrate under the contemptuous glances of Flatfish and the boy. Flatfish himself seemed disinclined to indulge in long heart-to-heart talks, and for my part no desire stirred within me to run after him with such complaints. Flatfish pursued his discourse. As things stand, it appears that the suspended sentence passed against you will not count as a criminal record or anything of that sort. So you see, your rehabilitation depends entirely on yourself. If you mend your ways and bring me your problem, seriously, I mean, I will certainly see what I can do to help you. Flatfish's manner of speech, no, not only his, but the manner of speech of everybody in this world, held strange, elusive complexities, intricately presented with overtones of vagueness. I have always been baffled by these precautions so strict as to be useless, and by the intensely irritating little maneuvers surrounding them. In the end, I have felt past caring. I have laughed them away with my clowning, or surrendered to them abjectly with a silent nod of the head, in the attitude of defeat. In later years, I came to realize that if Flatfish had at the time presented me with a simple statement of the facts, there would have been no untoward consequences. But as a result of his unnecessary precautions, or rather, of the incomprehensible vanity and love of appearances of the people of the world, I was subjected to the most dismal set of experiences. How much better things would have been if only Flatfish had said something like this: "I'd like you to enter a school beginning in the April term. Your family has decided to send you a more adequate allowance once you have entered school." Only later did I learn that this is in fact was the situation. If I had been told that, I should probably have done what Flatfish asked, but thanks to his intolerably prudent, circumlocucious manner of speech, I only felt irritable, and this caused the whole course of my life to be altered. If you do not feel like confiding your problems to me, I'm afraid there's nothing I can do for you. What kind of problems? I really had no idea what he was driving at. Isn't there something weighing on your heart? For example. For example? What do you yourself want to do now? Do you think I ought to get a job? No, don't ask me. Tell me what you really like. But even supposing I said I wanted to go back to school, yes, I know it costs money, but the question is not the money, it's what you feel. Why, I wonder, couldn't have mentioned the simple fact that money would be forthcoming from home. That one fact would probably have settled my feelings, but I was left in a fog. You know, I can relate to this, but people are not upfront, and it's super fucking annoying. Hey, harvest that mushroom, we need it. And it's super annoying. Alright, anyway. How about it? Have you anything which might be described as aspirations for the future? I suppose one can expect people one helps to understand how difficult it is to help another person. I'm sorry. I'm really worried about you. I'm responsible for you now, and I don't like you to have such half-hearted feelings. I wish you would show me that you're resolved to make a real effort to turn over a new leaf. If, for example, you were to come to me to discuss seriously your plans for the future, I would certainly do what I could. But of course you can't expect to lead your former life of luxury on the help that poor old Flatfish can give. Don't give yourself any illusions on that score. No, but if you are resolute in your determination to begin again afresh, and you make definite plans for building your future, I think I might actually be willing to help you to rehabilitate yourself if you come to me for help, though heaven knows I haven't much to spare. Do you understand my feelings? What are your plans? If you won't let me stay here in your house, I'll work. Are you serious? Do you realize that nowadays even graduates of Tokyo Imperial University... No, I wasn't thinking of getting a job with a company. What then? I want to be a painter, I said, this with conviction. What? I can never forget the indescribably crafty shadow that passed over Flatfish's face as he laughed at me, his neck drawn in. It resembled contempt, yet it was different. If the world, like the sea, had depths of 1,000 fathoms, this was the kind of weird shadow which might be found hovering here and there at the bottom. It was a laugh which enabled me to catch a glimpse of the very nadir of human life, or excuse me, of adult life. He said, "There's no point in discussing such a thing. Your feelings are still all up in the air. Think it over. Please devote this evening to thinking it over seriously." I ran up to the second floor as though driven, but even when I lay in bed, nothing of particularly constructive nature occurred to me. The next morning at dawn, I ran away from Flatfish's house. I left behind a note, scrawled in pencil in big letters on my writing pad. I shall return tonight without fail. I am going to discuss my plans for the future with a friend who lives at the address below. Please don't worry about me. I'm telling the truth. I wrote Horiki's name and address and stole out of Flatfish's house. I did not run away because I was mortified at having been lectured by Flatfish. I was, exactly as Flatfish described, a man whose feelings were up in the air, and I had absolutely no idea about future plans or anything else. Besides, I felt rather sorry for Flatfish that I should be a burden on him, and I found it quite intolerably painful to think that if by some remote chance I felt like bestirring myself to achieve a worthy purpose, I should have to depend on poor old Flatfish to dole out each month the capital needed for my rehabilitation. When I left Flatfish's house, however, I was certainly not seriously entertaining any idea of consulting the likes of Horiki about my future plans. I left the note hoping thereby to pass by Flatfish for a little while, if only for a split second. I didn't write the note so much out of detective story stratagem to gain a little more time for my escape, though I must admit that the desire was at least faintly present, as to avoid causing Flatfish a sudden shock which would send him into the state of wild alarm and confusion. I think that might be a somewhat more accurate presentation of my moves. I knew that the facts were certain to be discovered, but I was afraid to state them as they were. One of my tragic flaws is the compulsion to add some sort of embellishment to every situation, a quality which has made people call me at times a liar. But I have almost never embellished in order to bring myself any advantage. It was rather that I had a strangulating fear of that cataclysmic change in the atmosphere the instant the flow of conversation flagged, and even when I knew that it would later turn to my disadvantage, I frequently felt obliged to add, almost inadvertently, my word of embellishment, out of a desire to please born of my usual desperate mania for service. This may have been a twisted form of my weakness and idiocy, but the habit it engendered was taken full advantage of by the so-called honest citizens of the world. That was how I happened to jot down Horiki's name and address as they floated up from distant recesses of my memory. After leaving Flatfish's house, I walked as far as Shinjuku, where I sold the books I had in my pockets. Then I stood there uncertainly, utterly at a loss what to do. Though I do though I have always made it my practice to be pleasant to everybody, I have not once actually experienced friendship. I have only the most painful recollections of my various acquaintances, with the exception of such companions in pleasure as Horiki. I have frantically played the clown in order to disentangle myself from these painful relationships, only to wear myself out as a result. Even now it comes as a shock if by chance I notice in the street a face resembling someone I know, however slightly, and I am at once seized by a shivering violent enough to make me dizzy. I know that I am liked by other people, but I seem to be deficient in the faculty to love others. I should add that I have very strong doubts as to whether even human beings really possess this faculty. It was hardly to be expected that someone like myself could ever develop any close friendships. Besides, I lacked even the ability to pay visits. The front door of another person's house terrified me more than the gate of Inferno of the Divine Comedy. And I am not exaggerating when I say that I really felt I could detect within the door the presence of horrible dragon-like monster writhing there with a dank, raw smell. I had no friends. I had nowhere to go. Horiki. Here was a real case of true word having been said in jest. I decided to visit Horiki exactly as I stated in my farewell note to Flatfish. I had never before gone myself to Horiki's house. Usually I would invite him to my place by telegram when I wanted to see him. Now, however, I doubted whether I could manage the telegraph fee. I also wondered, with the jaundiced intelligence of a man in disgrace, whether Horiki might not refuse to come even if I telegraphed him. I decided on a visit, the most difficult thing in the world for me. Giving vent to a sigh, I boarded the streetcar. The thought that the only hope left in the world was Horiki filled me with a foreboding dreadful enough to send chills up and down my spine. Horiki was at home. He lived in a two-storied house at the end of a dirty alley. Horiki occupied only one medium-sized room on the second floor. Downstairs, his parents and a young workman were busily stitching and pounding strips of cloth to make thongs for sandals. Horiki showed me that day a new aspect of his city dweller personality. This was his knowing nature, an egoism so icy, so crafty that a country boy like myself could only stare with eyes open wide in amazement. He was not a simple, endlessly passive type like myself. You! What a surprise! You've been forgiven by your father, have you? Not yet? I was unable to confess that I had run away. In my usual way I evaded the issue, though I was certain that Horiki soon, if not immediately, would grasp what had happened. Things will take care of themselves in one way or another. Look here, it's no laughing matter. Let me give you a word of advice. Stop your foolishness here and now. I've got business today anyway. I'm awfully busy these days. Business? What kind of business? Hey, what are you doing there? Don't tear the thread off the cushion. While we were talking, I had unconsciously been fiddling with and twisting around my finger one of the tassel-like threads which protruded from the corners of the cushion on which I sat. Binding threads, I think they are called. Horiki had assumed a jealous possessiveness about everything in his house, down to the last cushion thread, and he glared at me, seemingly quite unembarrassed by his attitude. When I think of it, Horiki's acquaintanceship with me had cost him nothing. Horiki's aged mother brought in a tray with 2 dishes of jelly. "What have we here?" Horiki asked his mother tenderly, in tones of a truly dutiful son, continuing in language so polite it sounded quite unnatural. "Oh, I'm sorry. Have you made jelly? That's terrific. You shouldn't have bothered. I was just going out on some business, but it would be wicked not to eat your wonderful jelly after you've gone to all the trouble. Thank you so much." Then, turning in my direction, "How about one for you? Mother made it especially. Ah, this is delicious. Really terrific." He ate with a gusto, almost a rapture, which did not seem to be altogether play acting. Oh shit. Here we go. Shit's starting to get fucking dark and scary in the game. Did my... It's like even with the mushroom, it's still super dark. He ate with gusto, almost a rapture, which did not seem to be altogether play acting. I also spooned my bowl of jelly. It tasted watery, and when I came to the piece of fruit at the bottom, it was not fruit after all, but a substance I could not identify. I by no means despised their poverty. At the time I didn't think that the jelly tasted bad, and I was really grateful for the old woman's kindness. It is true that I dread poverty, but I do not believe I have ever despised it. I mean, yeah. It's like you don't hate people for being poor. You don't hate the poor. You just despise the idea of being poor. You don't want to be poor. The jelly and the way Haruki rejoiced over it taught me a lesson in the parsimoniousness of the city dweller, and in what is really like in a Tokyo household where the members divide their lives so sharply between what they do at home and what they do on the outside. I was filled with dismay at these signs that I, a fool rendered incapable by my perpetual flight from human society. Oh, did I finally find my way here? Okay. The music really is horrifying. Now, once I get up here, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I guess I'll just continue reading. I don't even know where I left off. Okay, let's keep moving. Come on. Oh, whoa. Oh, I'm having a dream. You have to eat 3 of them to have a dream. I'm tripping out right in front of the other guy. You see that? I like the music here. Josh got a synth and like messing around with it, it just sounds like the music in this game. Hmm. It's got a little devil's tail. It's cute. I didn't realize I was gonna have a mushroom-induced dream while I was up here. What a strange and beautiful dream. There's the other guy. I just don't know what to do once I'm up here. Alright. Alright. Where were we at? The jelly and the way rejoiced over it taught me a lesson in the parsimoniousness of the city dweller and what it is really like in a Tokyo household where the members divide their lives so sharply between what they do at home and what they do on the outside. I was filled with dismay at these signs that I, a fool rendered incapable by my perpetual flight from human society from distinguishing between at home and on the outside, was the only one completely left out, that I had been deserted even by Horiki. I should like to record that as I manipulated the peeling lacquer chopsticks to eat my jelly, I felt unbearably lonely. I'm sorry, but I've got an appointment today, Horiki said, standing and putting on his jacket. I'm going now. Sorry. At the moment, a woman visitor arrived for Horiki. My fortunes thereby took a sudden turn. Horiki at once became quite animated. Oh, I am sorry. I was just on my way to your place when this fellow dropped in without warning. No, you're not in the way at all. Please come in. He seemed rattled. I took the cushion from under me and turned it over before handing it to Horiki. But snatching it from my hands, he turned it over once more as he offered it to the woman. There was only that one cushion for guests, besides the cushion Horiki sat on. The woman was a tall, thin person. She declined the cushion and sat demurely in a corner by the door. I listened absent-mindedly to their conversation. The woman, evidently an employee of a magazine publisher, had commissioned an illustration from Horiki and had come now to collect it. We're in a terrible hurry, she explained. It's ready. It's been ready for some time. Here you are. A messenger arrived with a telegram. As Horiki read it, I could see the good spirits on his face turn ugly. Damn it, what have you been up to? The telegram was from Flatfish. You go back at once. I ought to take you there myself, I suppose, but I haven't got the time now. Imagine, a runaway, and looking so smug. The woman asked, Where do you live? In Okubu. I answered without thinking. That's quite near my office. She was born in Koshu and was 28. She lived in an apartment in Koenji with her five... Okay, look. I'm gonna try something. Okay, it says close your eyes. So I think... I... I was having a pleasant time thinking about nothing. Okay, so I can walk with my eyes closed. I'm walking past him. Hey, I think I actually just got past this dude just by closing my eyes and walking past him. Who are you? Wait, what? Why is he following me? Wait, did I just become him? Wait a minute. Wait. I am so confused right now. Did I just become the darkness? Did I become that guy? Because that's what I think it said. I have to become the darkness to overcome it. So I think, like, by closing my eyes and walking past him, I became him. Okay, so we finally got past the darkness, huh? Well, where does this take me? I really, I don't know where this takes me. This is unfamiliar territory here. I need to memorize this area, though. Okay, so now I can come back here. Overcoming the darkness, huh? Is that supposed to be a metaphor for overcoming depression? Why is it so dark? Is it gonna ever get light again? It's like I didn't overcome anything or become anything. Or I guess I did just become the darkness. I got these glasses on and I can't see shit, and there's glare all over the backlight, or all over from my window on my TV. So I can't really see what's going on here. I can't see where I'm going, but it feels right. Does it? Okay, I guess we still go then. Maybe I should have kept my damn mushroom, because I can't see shit. He said it feels right. So I guess we just keep going forward. Boy, we're gonna be here all fucking day. This game does not cut you any breaks when it comes to how long it takes to get from one area to another. So, yeah. This is taking quite some time. Yeah, it is. Like, where are we going, bro? Oh, oops. Let's keep going. Oh my god, dude. So I think I'm gonna have to go back, get a mushroom, come back up here so I can see what I'm doing. Basically, that's what it's feeling like. Cause I can't see shit. I feel like I turn off the doors I can go through. I'm just not seeing because it's dark. You know, now I'm thinking about NGE again. Jeez, I wonder why walking through infinite darkness makes me think about NGE. Like I said earlier, it was hopeful to me, but that doesn't mean it's not dark as fuck and hella depressing. I've shown a couple of people NGE and they all come out of it like, what the hell, man? You know what I mean? Like they're usually blown back or amazed, but they all just kind of come out of it like, wow, I feel like my head's just been twisted off. You know what else reminds me of NGE is Blame, which is kind of a weird one, but I guess it's the infinite sadness, the lonely journey. And Kelly just doesn't seem human anymore. He seems like any human that he's had in them has been just, it's just gone. I mean, the writer himself said he's 3,000 years old at the beginning of the La Di Da. Yeah, we're gonna be here a long, long fucking time. I don't, dude. I'm gonna weird. Something weird. I see light around me. Something weird. Wait, sound like Robbie. The sound I need to do. Okay, I just looked this up. And it said change direction, go to the right, and you'll find a secret tower. I wasn't sure where I was going, so I just looked the shit up. But I'm hoping that I went in the right direction. Oh, there's a fork in the road. It seems to be an alternative way to the top. Okay, well, okay, am I going? God, I hope I'm going the right direction. I'm going right. I can't look back. Where I came from. Is that where Oh, wait. Where am I? Can't see anything. God, damn, it's so annoying. I can't see anything. I'm going to the road. I'm going back. Wait, I'm starting to see light again. Okay, did we find something here? Oh my god, please tell me I found something and I didn't just go back the same fucking way. I'm gonna remember this. Okay, let's go. What is this? Another living being? It seems to be sleeping. Bro, that's dead. That's definitely dead. Maybe it has the biggest dream to be a unicorn one day. It didn't work. Maybe it was his biggest dream to become a unicorn. Oh my god, it was taken out by a stalactite. Oh, or stalactite, I believe, is the ones that come from the top. Okay, well, well, I found the right way. I mean, I had to look up how to get here, but like basically when you hear the ground sound change, that's what made me look it up. I heard the sound on the ground change and I was like, I bet that means something. So I googled it and like, yeah, it does. It tells you to turn, you have to turn around when you hear the ground change that way. Where are we going? That is the question. Okay. Wait a minute. Wait, did I just find the top? Hold on. So the secret tower is... This is exactly the type of shit that the king told me not to be fucking doing, by the way. Like, literally. Do I care? Nope. Here comes the cool synth music again. This game does have cool music. You know, it's gonna be hell remembering where I left off and No Longer Human. Oh, more books! Yes! I was just saying that I didn't get all the books in the game. This game, sometimes I just sit down and read books in the game, you know. What is that crystal? Something feels odd about this cave. Wait, are those dead birds? Huh. Wait, hold on. Let's go get these books. Yeah, there's dead birds. So, why? A book will keep me company at home. 26 books. Look at that. I'm coming up on books. Yeah. I just came up on like 5 or 6 books. Dope. What's with this crystal? This will look better in my home. I just stole it. That's pretty funny. Are those bunch of bones? What? There is no way out. Whoever lived here made sure of that. Why? There's a key up there. I see a key on the platform. I'm looking at it. My character is looking at the key. Yeah. I wonder how to get it. There's a bird in a bird's nest. Maybe when the bird lands in the bird's nest, it'll do something. Hmm. How do I get that damn key? No, not that ladder. This ladder. What the fuck is this? A stork is making a nest up there, it seems. I don't like storks. So? What is this thing? Okay, there's the stork again. Alright. Now, where did I leave off on the book? Uh. The woman was a tall, thin person. She declined the cushion and sat demurely in the corner by the door. I listened absent-mindedly to their conversation. The woman, evidently an employee of a magazine publisher. Oh, wait. We read that. I led for the first time in my life. What is this stork gonna do? Is this stork gonna give me my motherfucking key? No. But I mean, if it it just keeps flying by. Can you get in your nest? I think if it gets in the fucking nest. This is fucking lame. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, yeah. She was born in Koshu and was 28. She lived in an apartment in Koenji and with her 5-year-old girl. She told me that her husband had died 3 years before. You look like someone who's had an unhappy childhood. You're so sensitive. More's the pity for you. I led for the first time the life of a kept man. After Shizuku, that was the name of the lady journalist, went out to work. Oh, that's the stork. Uh, that. When will my longing end? Who knows? That thing is huge. Oh, well, there's the key. Perfect. A mysterious key. What might it open? Who knows? I thought those little birds were the storks. That big stork was ugly as hell. Oh boy. Guess we should save this spot. Oh, I did. Okay. Jesus. All right. Went out to work in the morning at the magazine publishers. Her daughter, Shigeko, and I obediently looked after the apartment. Shigeko had always been left to play in the superintendent's room while her mother was away, and now she seemed delighted that an interesting uncle had turned up as a new playmate. For about a week, I remained in a state of daze. Just outside the apartment window was a kite caught in the telegraph wires. Blown about and ripped by the dusty spring wind, it nevertheless clung tenaciously to the wires, as if in affirmation of something. Every time I looked at the kite, I had to smile with embarrassment and blush. It haunted me even in dreams. I want some money. How much? She asked. A lot. Love flies out the window when poverty comes in the door, they say, and it's true. Don't be silly. Such a trite expression. That's what Tsuneko said to him. Is it? But you don't understand. I might run away if things go on at this rate. Which of us is the poor one, and which will run away? What a silly thing to say. I want to buy my drinks and cigarettes with my own money. I'm a lot better artist than Horiki. At such times, the self-portraits I painted in high school, the ones Takaichi called ghost pictures, naturally came to mind. My lost masterpieces. These, my only really worthwhile pictures, had disappeared during one of my frequent changes of address. I afterwards painted pictures of every description, but they all fell far, far short of those splendid works as I remembered them. I was plagued by a heavy sense of loss, as if my heart had become empty. The undrunk glass of absinthe, a sense of loss which was doomed to remain eternally unmitigated, stealthily began to take shape. Whenever I spoke of painting, the undrunk glass of absinthe flickered before my eyes. I was agonized by the frustrating thought, if only I could show them those paintings, they would believe in my artistic talents. Do you really? You're adorable when you joke that way with a serious face. But it was no joke. It was true. I wished I could have shown her those pictures. I felt an empty chagrin, which suddenly gave way to resignation. I added, cartoons, I mean. I'm sure I'm better than Horiki at cartoons, if anything else. These clownish words of deceit were taken more seriously than the truth. Yes, that's so. I've really been struck by those cartoons you're always drawing for Shigeko. I've burst out laughing over them myself. How would you like to draw for our magazine? I can easily ask the editor. Her company published a monthly magazine, not an especially notable one, for children. Most women have only to lay eyes on you to want to be doing something for you so badly they can't stand it. You're always so timid and yet you're funny. Sometimes you get terribly lonesome and depressed, but that only makes a woman's heart inch all the way, all the more for you. Shizuku flattered me with these and other comments, which, with the special repulsive quality of the kept man, I calmly accepted. Whenever I thought of my situation, I sank all the deeper into my depression and I lost all my energy. It kept preying on my mind that I needed money more than a woman, that any way I wanted to escape from Shizuku and make my own living. I made plans of every sort, but my struggles only enmeshed me the more in my dependence on her. This strong-minded woman herself dealt with the complications which developed from my running away and took care of almost everything else for me. As a result, I became more timid than ever before her. At Shizuku's suggestion, a conference took place, attended by Flatfish, Horiki, and myself, at which it was concluded that all relations between me and my family were to be broken, and I was to live with Shizuku as man and wife. Thanks also to Shizuko's efforts, my cartoons began to produce a surprising amount of money. I bought liquor and cigarettes as I had planned with the proceeds, but my gloom and depression grew only the more intense. I had sunk to the bottom. Sometimes when I was drawing The Adventures of Kenta and Ota, the monthly comic strip for Shizuko's I keep saying Shizuku, it's Shizuko's magazine. I would suddenly think of home, and this made me feel so miserable that my pen would stop moving, and I looked down through brimming tears. At such times, the one slight relief came from Shigeko. By now, she was calling me Daddy with no show of hesitation. Daddy, is it true that God will grant you anything if you pray for it? I thought that I, for one, would like to make such a prayer. Oh, vouchsafe unto me a will of ice. Acquaint me with the true natures of human beings. Is it not a sin for a man to push aside his fellow? Vouchsafe unto me a mask of anger. Yes, I'm sure he'll grant Shigeko anything she wants, but I don't suppose Daddy has a chance. I was frightened even by God. I could not believe in his love, only his punishment. Faith, that I felt, was the act of faithing the tribunal justice which once had bowed to receive the scourge of God. I could believe in hell, but it was impossible for me to believe in the existence of heaven. Why haven't you a chance? Because I disobeyed what my father told me. Did you? But everybody says you're so nice. That's because I deceived them. I was aware that everybody in the apartment house was friendly to me, but it was extremely difficult for me to explain to Shigeko how much I feared them all, and how I was cursed by the unhappy peculiarity that the more I feared people, the more I was liked, and the more I was liked, the more I feared them, a process which eventually compelled me to run away from everybody. I casually changed the subject. Shigeko, what would you like from God? I would like my real daddy back. Jesus. I felt dizzy with the shock. An enemy. Was I Shigeko's enemy, or was she mine? She's a child, sir! How was another frightening grown-up who would intimidate me? A stranger, an incomprehensible stranger, a stranger full of secrets. Shigeko's face suddenly began to look that way. I had been deluding myself with the belief that Shigeko at least was safe, but she too was like the ox which suddenly lashes out with its tail to kill the horsefly on its flank. She is a child. She misses her father. Like, what is wrong with you? I knew that from then on I would have to be timid even before that little girl. Alright. I think I've had enough of this video game and reading No Longer Human. Another day beneath the earth. Well, you're close to above it now. You just can't get out. You're trapped in this tower. But you are above it. Alright. I guess it's time to go back home. And it's gonna take fucking forever to get back home. Can't wait to sit on my armchair again. Boy, it's gonna take forever. Well, I guess I could keep reading while I wait to get home, but in truth, I'm just kind of tired of reading, and I want to play a different game. So, this game can get old. What's cool is that when I exit out of it, he'll still walk home. Like, I'm pretty sure he'll still walk home. So, when I come back in the game, he'll be closer to home or he'll be at home. Something like that. But yeah, that's all the reading for today.